This is your last chance. No turning back. You take the blue pill, accept everything Ubisoft gives to you. You buy the new battle outfit and you question nothing. Or you take the red pill. Stay in Wonderland and I show you how deep the rabbit hole goes. That was just Molly. For honor. What are we going to do with you? Despite a good season and For Honor being in a better place than a few months ago, the game feels a little bit stale at the moment. I don't play into the For Honor is dying mindset, unless I'm clickbaiting you all for views. For Honor is in a state far worse than death. It is stagnant. We have little nuggets of content that act like adrenaline to keep the game's heart from going out, but nothing has managed to shock it back to life. For Honor is on life support and we must save it. For Honor needs 10cc, the dollar bill right into the bloodstream. The issue is that the Ubisoft overlords don't think that For Honor makes enough money to justify spending more money to make more money. Is this making sense? I feel like I'm waffling. Do you guys understand where I'm coming from, or am I just... Thank goodness, I thought he'd never shut up. Snake Oil Salesman Precursor here, and boy, I can't wait to share a quick word from today's sponsor. This video is sponsored by Raid Shadow Legends. Thanks to them, I can now afford to put my central heating on. Unless you have been living under a rock, you already know what Raid is and installed it for obvious reasons. If you have indeed been living under a rock, it's time to treat yourself and get that download going. You guys know how much I like variety in characters and customization in games. And in Raid, it doesn't matter what your niche is, there is a champion to suit your needs. And you're going to need all the champions you can get if you want to tackle Raid's new endgame content, the Doom Tower. Scary, I know. Aptly named since it's basically a giant prison. The Arbiter fought a really nasty pack of bad guys a long time ago, but she was unable to defeat them permanently. Instead, she locked them in the Doom Tower until she figured out how to deal with them. That was several thousand years ago, and the Doom Tower is still there, so I guess the Arbiter has been procrastinating a little bit. But now, Siroth is leaking back into the world, and the Arbiter isn't strong enough to keep the wards up. So, the Doom Tower is failing. And it's up to us to get in there and stop the mother of all prison riots from breaking out. But to conquer the Doom Tower, you're going to need an army of champions. The lower floors are easy enough to deal with if you have a strong team, but the bosses are really tough. And you're going to need some specialists if you want to take them down. You'll want ways to remove debuffs, so make sure you have a high resistance or you're going to have a bad time. A lot of Doom Tower bosses ignore block debuffs, and they can really mess up your champions by draining their turn meters or stripping buffs. A couple of bosses even need specific mechanics to beat them, like the Scarab King for example. To damage him efficiently, you'll need to reduce his max HP. And don't even think about trying to attack him without a shield buff, or he's going to wipe your whole team very fast. But part of the fun in the Doom Tower is figuring these things out and experimenting for yourself on how to defeat them. Just make sure your champions are ready for the path ahead. I want to unlock this old git, Hermit York. Any orc that lives to old age is probably not one to be messed with. And if old men with big smelly sticks aren't your cup of tea, how about MMA pro wrestlers? You can now unlock Ronda Rousey as a legendary champion in Raid. No, I didn't stutter, I did in fact say Ronda Rousey. Just log in for 7 days between now and the 20th of February and you can get her for free. I just unlocked her, and together with Gaelic I'm building a team of pyromaniac warriors. Make sure you use the code RAIDRONDA in-game and you can get a bunch of goodies to help level her up too, including a 3-day XP boost. And this is available for both new and existing players. Also, if you're an Amazon Prime member, you can get exclusive rewards in-game right now. As if that wasn't already generous enough, if you haven't started playing Raid yet, you can scan my QR code or click the link in the description and you'll get even more goodies to get you started, including the epic champion Aina, 200k silver, an energy refill and another XP boost. All this treasure will be waiting for you here, available for the next 30 days. And remember, this one is for new players only. Christmas has come early for you guys. I'm like Santa Claus, except I don't even expect cookies and milk in return. And thank you to Raid for sponsoring today's video. Right, back to business as usual. For Honor is past its sell-by date, okay? It's still edible, but we know there's a risk when we take it out of the fridge to eat. It stinks. mechanics. I'm going to try and approach this from what I would consider to be realistically achievable. At the end of the day, For Honor needs to be profitable, so keep this in mind. And what we're going to do is this. This is my 3-point plan to save For Honor. That would have worked in like 2019, but we're too far gone now anyway. Step 1. We're making the base game free to play. That includes the campaign plus the original 12 heroes. Free. That's still too high of a price. Ubisoft should be paying us to play, but we'll settle on free. To encourage new players and stop them feeling overwhelmed, we're updating the tutorial as well. Wait there, friend, I know what you're saying. The game changes so much they'd need to update the tutorial every month. And you're right. So instead we have the fundamentals in the tutorial, and we're bringing back in-menu videos. Veteran players will remember there were these little info videos on each hero that got removed. Now I don't think it would be too hard to ask for Ubisoft to update integrated videos in the menu, detailing more complex mechanics. They record a lot of this kind of stuff for the Warriors Den. Add a little voiceover or text, and there's a neat little learning tool in-game that's accessible for new players. They can watch this, then put it into practice in the training area. If they want to go out of their way to find out more online, fine, but this needs to be in-game. We're also going to fix skill-based matchmaking so it stops putting Rep 10s up against Rep 300s. I've had it before where I match against new players. It's cruel. It's like slaughtering peasants. There's no honor in it, okay? Now, I don't know the finer details of how skill-based matchmaking works. It's easy to say, just fix it. But I imagine there probably isn't enough new people to match together at a lower rep. But if we had an influx of new players from, say, making the game free to play, step 2. That was step 1, this is step 2. Money. Ubisoft needs money after we go free to play. We are removing content of the week. It's gone, reduced to atoms. Instead, we're doubling down on hero skins. Varying levels of skins at different steel prices. The rarer the skin, the more expensive it is. The more intricately designed it is. Let's say 30k steel for a top-of-the-line skin. But instead of getting just the skin like you do now, you get a unique execution, emote, signature, whatever, exclusive to that skin. You can only have it when that skin is equipped. Then, as we work our way down the price tag, the skins are maybe more like reworked assets that have been jazzed up, like some of the campaign pieces. For example, you could have a Ragnar skin for the raid, or a Seijuro skin for Orochi. You could even have the base level just be an armor set that you pay to unlock. I would happily pay 10k steel to unlock an armor set instead of relying on the terrible loot system. This would make way more sense than paying to unlock feats early, like who's doing that? This would also make way for crossover skins, like why isn't there an Eivor skin from Valhalla for the Vikings? Make it a timed skin available when the For the Creed event is on. We need people to look at cosmetics and go, I want to spend my money on this. We want children to steal their parents' credit cards to buy Shigoki's bikini skin. No, that's bad. Steel acquisition might need to be adjusted. I think it should still be possible to buy skins with steel earned in game, but adjusted so using a shortcut is appealing, but not to the Overwatch 2 level. We'll get to that in a second. It's coming. A more expansive skin system paired with the Hero Fest would be a smart play. Say you're a new player, you play Shinobi during this Hero Fest, you really like him, you see he has cool skin available. Hero Fest finishes, Shinobi Hero with skin bundle is at a discounted price on the shop. You spend your last £7 on it instead of budgeting a Tesco meal deal for 2 days. Step 3. Put competitive For Honor in the bin. I'm joking, but not really. Competitive is a necessary evil. One hand, it encourages more interest in the game, allows for tournaments, etc. But For Honor indulges the competitive scene far too much for my liking. For such a niche corner of an already niche game, there's too much catering for it. What is good for competitive isn't always good for fun, and if the game is less fun, the less people will continue to play it. Now, this is all well and good, but how would you know it works in practice? Well, Laurie, I'll tell you. Let's take a look at Destiny 2 New Light. This soft relaunch that gave the base game and some DLC away for free brought a massive new players in. Since New Light launched in October 2019, there have supposedly been 20 million new Destiny players up to now, with the game consistently being at 100,000 peak players active a month. As for cosmetics, I'm surprised it took 6 years for them to catch on to this. How many games have monetized cosmetics? Let's make it even easier. Assassin's Creed and Rainbow Six, both Ubisoft games. Overwatch, COD, Fortnite. I never played CSGO, but that game has a whole economy based around cosmetics. Oh, and I know what's coming.
Are you saying For Honor should pull an Overwatch 2? Are you insane?
Yes and yes, but a properly executed Overwatch 2. Instead of a sequel, it should follow something like Destiny New Light, a soft relaunch, not a marketed sequel. A sequel implies a huge step up in content. That's where Overwatch failed. That and its egregious pricing on cosmetics. Overwatch 2 had like 25 million players in 10 days. Obviously Destiny and Overwatch are much larger IPs, but the principle is the same. For Honor is past getting a Marching Fire size content update again. Hypothetically, I think going free to play would have made sense after year 3. The only thing bringing people back are new heroes, maybe the odd rework. Interest is dwindling. We're already halfway to this monetization system with the battle pass and the microtransactions. Most modern games follow this model now. It's about being more efficient with it. No one's spending real money on battle outfits. We need worthwhile cosmetics that players might consider actually spending real money on. Do I like it? Not particularly, but it's the hard reality of the industry. I'd rather see the game take this direction than die out to lack of budget. I can't stress enough though, this kind of monetization model is all about execution. The game still needs to have meaningful progression, because this is what all the controversy with Overwatch is about, as well as the ridiculous pricing of the skins. Realistically, I do wonder how long the devs can plod along releasing one hero every other season with a skin in between. If you wholeheartedly disagree with me and think I've gone off the deep end, how cool was it to get the hero skins? Except Bolthorn. So this video was 99% done before the Warriors Den last week, but how insane does the mocapping on Jorm look? And we're getting a skin the same season as a new hero. Imagine if this level of quality became the new norm. I think this kind of monetization model would generate more income for the game, and in turn push for more of this. Imagine the budget for new mocap moves for every rework. It's impressive how long the game has lasted without committing to something like this really. But the question is, how much longer will it continue to last if it doesn't?